Hey, I don't want to waste your time. I just quickly want to introduce myself. I'm Fellipe the Barber and welcome to my channel where I teach you my approach to barbering. If you feel like you got a lot of value out of this video, consider subscribing and follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Fellipe.thebarber. Without further ado, let's get to the haircut.
All right, so this haircut is going to be a load mid drop fade. So it's a skin fade and I'm going to drop it in the back. So first things first, I'm gonna start sectioning the hair the way that the client will style. He's gonna be doing a comb over, and I'll begin the haircut by using a 1.5 guard. This is a 1 guard with the lever open, which is equivalent to a 1.5. And I chose the 1 guard lever open in this case just because it cuts a little bit shorter, and I'm gonna set the side really tight anyways, so I just do it with the 1 guard lever open. Follow that, I'll set the bottom guideline with my trimmer. If you follow my videos, you do know that I like to set a top guideline first and then a bottom guideline, and to do that is simply just because I like to have my foundation, and also I like to visually see exactly the space that I'm gonna be working in. So the top and the bottom guideline works for multiple reasons, but most importantly, it is to give me a direction of where to set that middle guideline. So here, I'm gonna open my lever. I'm gonna set that half line. So it's a middle guideline. Now I have a 0 and a 1.5 on top, and I'll set a 0.5 by opening the lever exactly in between the top and the bottom guideline, so that we have 1 guard missing from that. So 0, half, 1, 1.5. I like to do my fade from the bottom up. Therefore, I'm gonna take my clipper, close the lever all the way, and start flicking out that bottom 0 line that I set, and then gradually start to open the lever to smooth it out even more. Right after, I'll take the 1 guard once again, but this time I'm gonna have the lever closed, and I'm gonna start flicking out that line that I set with the half, right? I also know that that 1 guard isn't necessarily going to get rid of every single piece of that line that I set with the half, which is okay. It's totally normal and no need to panic. So I flick out that line with the 1 guard, open the lever slightly just to smooth out even more, and then I throw on the half guard, close the lever, and then I open it ever so slightly. I open it just so slightly, and I flick out all that dark patches that I have that the number 1 guard didn't take. With the 1.5 guard, this time, I'm just gonna start smoothing out that process even more. And then I'll take the clipper over comb technique, which is the fastest, easiest, and quickest way to blend that midsection. I'm keeping the comb at a 90-degree angle, making sure that I create that nice squared shape. Once that's finished, there's a little bit of weight around that midsection, and I get rid of that by doing a scissor over comb. Now that the sides in the midsection is completely finished, I'm gonna start cutting the top of the hair. This is a very slight trim because the client's hair is thick and straight, and so if I cut it too short, he will not be able to comb it to the side. So I begin by cutting the top from the front to the back and then side to side. And then I'll take my blending shears here and I'll start to smooth out that weight a little bit more than I did before with the regular scissor over comb. And then just fine tuning everything. The haircut is pretty much done. At this point, I'm looking at little dark spots and I'm just making sure that everything is looking proper. So now it's time to start lining up the client on the top. In this case, I start, setting the outline with the trimmer, and then later I'll go over it with my razor. Again, just looking at little dark spots and trying to see what needs to be lightened or what needs to be dark. Little trim of the eyebrows, always helpful. And then I'm gonna begin to trim the beard.
Hey, if you're struggling with your fade, if you're taking too long, not consistent, and can't repeat the same fade over and over again, it's probably because you don't have a system. I'm not here to sell you. I'm simply going to present the opportunity to you to learn my 3-step fade system through a course I've put together. So click on the link in the description below to find out more.
The beard I'm leaving as full as possible, but again, this is a trim and you wanna make it look neat and well put together. So I have that 1.5 guard, and I'll begin with the 1.5 guard towards the direction of where the grain of the hair grows. So using the 1.5 in the motion downwards, cleaning up all that straggled hair, all the hairs that kind of stand up, and then I'll begin to fade that sideburn from that 0 to the 1.5, and then I'll start gradually throwing on a higher clipper until I reach the bottom of the chin. In this case, I take a number 3 guard, so you can do it the reverse way too. You can take a 3 guard and do it all over the beard and then work backwards. So 3, a 2, a 1.5, a 1, a half, and a 0. But in this case, I like to blend in the sideburns first, and then I'll blend it into the longest part of the beard. Again, before I line up the client with the razor, I always like to set an outline with the trimmer, even if it's a rough guide. Always helpful. In my opinion, I always recommend this unless you have a ton of experience and you can just freehand everything with a razor. The mustache, I like to just use a comb. The comb is typically a 1.5 width. So I like to just use the comb and trim the mustache around. All right, so everything is finished. Now it's time to razor. This is when you make all those sharp lines, and then after, if you want to apply some enhancements, you can do that. So now I'm just making sure that I didn't miss any hairs on the bottom of the chin with the number 3 guard, and then I'll start setting that line on the bottom of the neck, of the jaw. So again, setting that guideline and setting that rough sketch of the bottom. Usually I never, unless it is asked by the client, I typically do not use the razor. I don't shave that part right there. I always use the foil shaver instead. This is something, honestly, because if I shave, it'll take a little bit longer and a little bit more work on my end, so I charge extra. So usually my clients always, for the most part, will always get the foil shaver instead of the shave with the razor. And if for some reason they want that, then I would have to charge them for a shave instead of a beard trim, which is what, $25 more. And yeah, so now I'm slapping on some Easy Blade shaving gel on the cheeks. I'm gonna put it on everywhere I'm gonna use the razor, and I'll throw on the hot towel, prepare my razor, and start lining the client up. So first, I like to start off with the top hairline. I like to keep the towel around the client's face while I do that, just to maintain everything warm and keep the hairs nice and soft, so that when I come with the razor, It's an easy shave and nothing is being pulled. So I start working around that line using the corners of the blade and trying to set that shape as sharp as I can. So there it is. That's pretty much the haircut right there. I'm actually not even gonna style the hair too much. I'm gonna add a little bit of product just to give you an idea, but pretty much this is it right here. I'm just gonna slap on a little bit of pomade and then fine tune some details if needed. And there it is, the before and after.
Thank you for watching. If you got to this point of the video, I know for a fact you got a lot of value. And the way you can support is by subscribing to this channel and following me on Instagram and TikTok. Stay safe.